You want to make a difference in the world. Of course you do. Everyone wants to make a difference. This is why you have a business, so that you can serve. Today's talk is recognizing your purpose 24/7 at home, in relationships, and in your business. I want to tell you, I think that by the end of this talk, you will be looking at your own personal daily life differently. You will be looking at your life from the perspective of how is it I'm contributing my purpose here? I'm Sandra Lee, human design specialist and biofield tuning practitioner. So I am going to talk about the old way of looking at our purpose. It doesn't really work very well. It's not complete. I'm going to talk about what human design is and turning problems into gifts. And then I'll talk about connecting with the heart of who you are. So, the old way of recognizing your purpose looks at your experience, your skills, your knowledge, your education, your values, the things that you care about, the things that you get sucked into and lose time. I have done tests like that, helping me to identify my purpose and how I serve. I remember when I was in high school, I took one of those career assessments. Did any of you ever do that in high school? And it asks you all those kinds of questions. And the result that came out of my career assessment was that my ideal career would be librarian. Now, even at the time that I took that, that did not feel particularly exciting. It's like, a librarian? I don't think so. And now, looking at my adult life and what I do now, I cannot imagine being a librarian. Now, don't get me wrong, librarians are really important. Librarians are valuable. I love librarians. I utilize my librarians because they are resources that help me. But me being a librarian, no, I cannot imagine it. So, this old way of recognizing my purpose and how it is I'm designed to serve really wasn't enough. There was more understanding that needed to be provided. One of my clients, Linda, she came to me really lost. She didn't know how she makes a difference in the world, and she really wanted to so much. She knew there had to be a reason why she was here and a way that she was here to serve. But because of a life with her family of origin where there was all kinds of trauma and her family members were always just like talking down to her, she didn't feel very good about herself. She was not confident in her ability to do anything that would make a difference in the world. I looked at her human design chart and I helped her see that part of her special contribution relates to the physical body and helping people get in their bodies, helping people get into their experience of their bodies and their health, to own their health. When I told her this really freed her up to be able to admit to herself that she had always really dreamed of working with animals and doing therapy for people with animals, helping people get into their bodies, into their lives, into what they care about, and healing themselves through working with therapy animals. So, my helping her see that this is where part of her purpose is enabled her to admit that to herself and to start taking action, start taking classes so that she really could become someone who helps people therapeutically with animals. So, now let's talk about what human design is. Human design gives you a chart based on where the planets were at the time you were born. This is similar to astrology, but a little bit different because astrology also is based on where the planets were at your birth time. So in human design, you have a column of numbers that relates to where the planets were at the time you were born. And then you have a column of numbers that's where the planets were approximately 3 months before you were born. So you have two sets of planetary numbers that give you a chart that's got a triangle in the middle of it that's got colored shapes and it's got lines. So where the planets were just creates this definition in the chart that helps you understand how you serve and the ways that you make a difference in the world and the opportunities that you're here to attract, the lessons that you are here to experience. All of these things are in this chart. Let me tell you how I came to be someone doing human design. Because before this, I had a belief that the positions of the planets didn't matter to me because I had had astrology readings over the years because I thought I should. Spiritually oriented people, this is something they do. And I know people who make their day to day decisions and run their lives based on their astrology chart. So I thought, oh, I should do that. And so I had had several astrology readings over the years. But the truth was, they did not seem to have any relevance to my actual life. I didn't remember anything about them. And I didn't implement anything from them in my life. It didn't impact my decisions. It didn't impact what I did. As far as I was concerned, the positions of the planets didn't really matter to me. I didn't use any of that information. It seemed to me to be irrelevant. So I thought that the positions of the planets were not important to me. Other people can run their lives based on that information, but not me. And then I heard my teacher, Karen Parker, talking in an interview on a teleseminar. She was talking to thousands of people. She wasn't really talking to me, but I learned things about myself and my life that are practical and relevant for my day to day life, even now, about 11 years later. And here's what I learned: I get angry all the time. I get angry about big things, about little things. And I used to be angry for weeks at a time sometimes. And this was a real problem for me. I judged myself horribly. What is wrong with me? Nobody else gets this upset. Why can't I get over it? I used to really scold myself, punish myself. I hated myself, partly because of this anger. And when I heard Karen Parker talking, she talked about this anger. And she says, it's part of your design. It's part of who you are. And you can't make it stop. It's there. And it's supposed to be there. This changed my whole perspective. I realized there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with anybody else. I didn't do anything wrong. Nobody else did anything wrong. And I can't turn it off. This anger is part of me. And it's okay. This enabled me to stop judging myself and become peaceful about this aspect of myself that I had hated. Now, when I get angry, because I still do, I recognize, oh, there's me. I'm doing the anger. What do I need to do? And I think about it. Do I need to communicate? Do I need to do some other thing? And then I do that. And then I can let the anger go. And it's gone. And then I can move on and do something else. It completely changed my life. And then there's another aspect of it. It enabled me to realize, oh, this anger actually serves a useful purpose in the world. We need anger. Without anger, nothing would ever change. We need things to upset us so much that we get angry about them, and then we then do what it takes to do something different, to make life better. Anger actually serves a purpose. Another aspect of my human design chart is where the sun was at the time I was born. This is called the conscious sun. And this is what I do in all areas of life. For me, this is the energy of truth and integrity, or the absence of truth and integrity. And when I learned about this, that this is what I'm doing all of the time, 24/7, no matter what it is I am doing, I was like, oh my goodness, that is so true. I am always trying to help there be more truth, more integrity, helping to make things better for myself, for my health, for other people and their health, the house being better, the neighborhood being better, the government being better, my clients, children, everybody. In some way or other, I am always striving to help things be better. And so I recognize the truth of this, that this is what I am doing all of the time. Each person has a human design chart. And there is the conscious sun in your chart that gives you a tremendous amount of information about how it is that you serve. And this is foundational information. No matter what kind of work you are doing, no matter what task you are doing, you are always living this purpose 24/7. Whatever your profession is, whatever your work is, you're always living this purpose. This purpose of the sun and of the chart, like, is underneath all of the experience and the knowledge and the education, the things that you're good at. Yes, all of those are valuable and important. But below all of that, foundational below that, you have the purpose that's in your human design chart, that you are always living. You're always living your truth. And it is a true gift to understand that. Now let's talk about turning problems into gifts. So here's a story that I tell about one of my clients, Diana. She came to me for human design, and I asked her what she wanted to work on, what she was struggling with. And she said, everyone is always asking me for help. For my whole life, people are always coming to me, asking me to do things, asking me for advice, asking me for my opinion. And I hate it. She said, all I want is for someone to care about me, to ask me how I'm doing, ask me what I want. And I looked at her chart and I said, Diana, you are always nurturing and taking care of people. Because this is where her conscious sun is, in the gate that's about nurturing and taking care of people. And I said, no matter what you are doing, you're always taking care of people. For your whole life, this has bothered you, that people are asking you for help. But when they ask you for help, they are showing you that they actually do see who you are and the contribution you are here to make. Every time they come to you asking for help, they are giving you an opportunity to be of service and to give your greatest gift. They do see you. When I saw Diana the next week, she was a completely different person. All of the resistance was gone. Because throughout that whole week, She had recognized every time someone came to her wanting something, they were giving her an opportunity to contribute. Completely changed her perspective on herself and her life because she realized that she was always contributing, always being of service, and that people appreciated it. Human design also helps you connect with the heart of who you are. Like we just talked about with Diana. I helped her see, wow, this central aspect of who you are. And by acknowledging it, she got connected. And I connected to her, helping her understand this. The other day, I was walking to back to my car. I had parked my car near the library. And I'm here walking and I spin a rope as I'm walking just to give me something to do. And it's a little bit of exercise and, agility. So I'm here and I'm walking past the library as I'm spinning my rope. And off to the side, I see a man playing hacky sack. That little knitted ball that's got stuff inside it that you kick around. So I was watching this guy do hacky sack and I was thinking, oh, he might be kind of interested in my rope. So he came up to me and started a conversation. And I, was talking with him. We were just enjoying being out there in the sun next to the library. And as he was talking about himself and what he does, he teaches, um, you know, young people how to drive, driving school. And he was talking about that. And I said, I wonder how that shows up in your human design chart. Would it be okay for me to run a chart for you? He said, sure. So I pulled out my iPad and I ran a quick chart. And I looked at it and I looked at his son, conscious son, and I told him, you help people understand things that might be kind of hard to understand. Things that are not necessarily logical or clear, you help people be clear about them. You help take things that are difficult to understand and you make them easy for people to understand and relate to. And I said, when you are working with driving students, you need them to understand the rules of the road. How do you handle yourself when you're driving a car? And sometimes they might have a hard time understanding what you're trying to communicate, what they need to know. They might have a hard time understanding it. You specialize in helping people to be able to understand these things so that they can use that information, have it make sense to them so they can live their life. And he says, yeah, that makes sense. But also, I'm always helping my wife to understand, my children to understand, my friends to understand. Everybody's always coming to me and I help them understand things. And so I helped him see that this is a central part of the service that he provides. This is part of his purpose. So now, as he goes through his life, when that happens, when he's explaining something to a driving student, when he's explaining something to one of his children, he's recognizing, oh, I am contributing my gift, my purpose to this person by helping them understand. It's an expression of my gift, my unique and special gift that I give to the world. I have another story about this. So, Randy Laxon, the person who organized this Solopreneur Like a Boss summit, I had a meeting with him. Thank you, by the way, Randy, for organizing all of this and for helping us all get everything we needed ready in time so that everybody can be successful. Because this is something that Randy does. When I was meeting with Randy, he was talking about himself and I was talking about myself. And I decided to run a chart for Randy, just like I did with, Man Next to the Library. And I told Randy, you are always busy. You move quickly. You probably never stop thinking. You're just always moving, always doing. And people might have a hard time keeping up with you sometimes. And it's just like, yeah, he was agreeing with me. And we kept talking. So it's like talking about this 3420, the channel that's busy, kind of like threaded into what Randy does for his business. Randy is an expert at organizing what you need to do to get what you have to do done, how to be effective and efficient. So look at how Randy has been with us in this summit. He's given me everything I need to know with when, timeline, reminders. He's got it organized so that I can be efficient in my busyness, my busy day, and make sure that I meet my deadlines, get everything done on time. That is Randy's specialty. Using this whole energy of speed, always being busy, and helping other people to manage their busyness so that they can be powerful and effective in what they want to create, what they want to accomplish in the world. Randy, in his work, supports us in that. He's working with this whole dynamic of busyness for himself and for others, helping us all to more effectively manage our busyness so that we can get everything done that needs to be done. He helps us and himself and the world be successful by expressing his gifts, who he is. It's all an expression of his human design chart. So, I have talked about the old way of recognizing your purpose, experience, knowledge, education, values, that isn't really enough. It's not effective at helping people really understand their purpose. We've looked at human design as a way to be able to help people understand their purpose more clearly and really relate to it. We've talked about how we can turn problems into gifts, again, through this human design lens, and connecting with the heart of who you are, like really getting who you are at the heart. What's at the center of what you do? What's the why of what you do? That's all going to be coming from the human design chart. You live your purpose 24/7, no matter what it is you're doing at home, in your relationships, and at work. Now, you might be asking, hey, how can I find out about this human design stuff? I've got an answer for you. I invite you to schedule a discovery call with me. And as part of that process, you get a free human design chart. Now, in this short period of time, I am going to limit it to 10 people. If you're beyond that 10 people, wait a little while and I'll see you after that, after the rush clears off some. You can go to miracleinspirations.com and schedule a time with me there. I have another gift, a Making Powerful and Effective Decisions checklist. This gives you some human design perspective that helps you be easier and more effective at making decisions, because this is something that human design helps with. And that will also subscribe you to my newsletter. So go to miracleinspirations.com/subscribe. And then I have a biofield tuning mini audio session for you. Biofield tuning is one of the modalities that I do in addition to human design, using tuning forks and sound for healing. So I have a Shine Your Heart Light mini audio session for you. and the address for that will be below. It helps you come from your heart and shine the love that you are out into the world. So, thank you for being here with me for this audio summit. I want you to know, remember, you are always living your purpose, even while you're doing normal daily tasks like the laundry. Thank you. Awaken the heart of your business.